This episode sponsored by Lake Monster Details, producing the Don's Light and Magic Legacy line of parts, offering upgrade parts and decals for accuracy, special effects, and lighting. Visit www.lakemonsterdetails.com and make it glow. Also sponsored by GCals, producing aftermarket replacement decals and custom quality graphics for your favorite spaceships. Visit www.gcals.company.site and add some personalization to your sci-fi models today.
Hey, what's up, fellow modelers? Will here. Welcome to the Engine Share. So this episode, we are going to finish up the 1350 Bird of Prey. Almost had it done in time for WonderFest. You'll see. I'll talk about it in the video. But she gave up. She gave me a heck of a fight, and I just had to walk away from it. And came back after WonderFest and finished her up. And I got a couple little details. I'm still waiting on some replacement decals from Gus over GCals. And I've got some final weathering to do, but I don't want to do those until I get the decals in place because I want the weathering to kind of blend those into everything. So not enough to worry about holding off finishing up this video series before then. So I'll get that done, and I'll post some update images once I get it finalized on my Facebook page. The link for that is in the notes below, as always. But she's finished up. Get this done, and then I've got some other builds I've got lined up. I've already started putting out the first couple videos for the Ian Lawrence 1350 Enterprise A tribute build that I'm going to be working on. Also, still, don't forget, I have the 1250 USS Reliant that is it's kind of on the back burner now. I'm doing a little bit here and there. I've had some issues with the CAD files. Not quite turn out the way I want to, so I'm going back and tweaking those. And I've got some that I need to make changes to that I don't quite have the knowledge and experience to make the changes I need to. So I'm doing some learning still, some trial and error, so it's taking a little bit to get those files finalized so I can print those and finally have everything I need to assemble it and start working on that. But until then, 1350 Enterprise A build. I've got the, for you Star Wars fans, I've got the Exploding Death Star. I'll be putting out the first video of that, the introductory video for that, probably about the same time as this video, if not within a day or two after it, I'll get it out. But I'm working on that. I also have the 1350 USS Grissom that I am starting to get supplies together for. So once I have all my supplies for that, I'll be ready to start that. Once I got my build studio done, I've got about another month and a half. I should have that ready to go. And when I get out there, I'll have a lot more. I'll have a lot more room to build, so that way I can kind of have simultaneous builds going on instead of having to do this one build at a time, whatever will fit on my desk. It's pretty much what I've been limited to. So get that done and hopefully be able to do a lot more work on more models, get more videos out to you guys, and get more information out. But she's done. I'm happy with the way she turned out. Somewhat, there's always things, you know, as a model builder that you're not going to be happy with. But anyway, we're going to finish this up, get this series wrapped up so we can move on. So give me a minute. I'll put you on the bench. We'll get to work. Alright, so I got this all painted up. All the paint is done on it. Flip it over here. And painted as much as I could, like the studio model, just like I did with the Big Bird. But it turned out pretty nice. And now what's left is to cram, make sense of all this wiring that's in here, all this spaghetti going on, and then I got to cram this into here and get that all wired up. I actually got some parts printed up for this to help diffuse the light, because when I stick them in these two ports here on the bottom, they're a little spotty. So I've got something to print it up right now to kind of diffuse that. And I did cut off a bunch of lights that I didn't need off of this board, because this is meant for the internal wiring and or the internal lighting, and I'm doing the internal lighting differently. I do still have to add probably 2 more yellow LEDs to the inside to light this back section here, but that's not going to take too long, and then I got to work out all this wiring. So I kind of want to work out some of this wiring from the front to the back and then worry about those LEDs. But like I said, I've also got those 2 diffuser parts that I've got to get in here too. And I got to wait for those parts to finish printing, which I've got a little bit of time left on that. So I'm going to work on making sense of some of this and getting this kind of ironed out so that I can get this board in place, get those last couple LEDs in place, and then we can finally look at getting this sealed up. So give me a minute and we'll be back. All right, guys, it's been kind of a mad dash to try to get this done, if possible, in time for WonderFest. But I don't know if I'm going to make it. It's like almost 9 o'clock at night. I got to get up in the morning and drive to Louisville. And I have kind of hit a stump here. I've lost this Canon, so I'm a little bit disappointed. It was working fine last time I tested it, and I go to test them one more time before I go to seal up the hole. And you can see I'm getting laid out of that. I still got my photon, but I've got no photon or no Canon on this side. So, oh well. There's not really anything I can do about it at this point other than tear it apart, and I'm not willing to do that right now. So, pushing onward. I've got a display stand that's kind of curing right now. I put some 5-minute epoxy to hold the base in place inside of it. And I'm kind of cutting some corners to try to get this done. So I would like to have this in WonderFest. So it's not going to be a backlit display. I still got to work up the buttons and that, but I think I can get it done. So this is pretty much ready to seal up. Unfortunately, I did lose that Canon, but it's just something I have to live with at this point. So everything else looks pretty good on it, and I'm satisfied with it other than losing that Canon. So I'm going to get this sealed up and get it put on the display stand, and we will come back and take a look. All right, well, as some of you I'm sure are well aware, I did not get the 1350 Bird of Prey done in time for WonderFest. I've now come back from WonderFest. WonderFest was great, and had a great time there. I did get the big Bird of Prey in and took a bronze with that. So I'm very pleased with that, and also the 1350 TOS with the TOS navigational console themed base also got bronze. So very happy with that. I just couldn't quite get this 1350 Bird of Prey to cooperate. I was down to just getting it sealed up and couldn't get the bottom half of the hull to close up. And I don't know if I had a pinch wire or not, but let me flip you around and take a look here real quick. So here's where I'm at. I've this has just been a headache to me for the last couple of steps trying to get this thing finally closed up. And so I had this ready to go. I had the mounting rods all set in place, and all I had to do was seal this up, and I could not. This part here closed up, but I could not get the neck to close up. It just would not make that last little bit. And was trying to get this in place, and I had my knife and was trying to cut a little piece off that I thought maybe was keeping it from closing up. Cut my thumb open. At that point, I was just bleeding, and I just had to put a towel over this and walk away until after WonderFest. So on top of that, when I cut my finger, I jerked the model and dropped it just a little bit, and I broke the gun off, the cannon off of this side, which would be, I believe, the port side. Broke it off, and I figured I could just glue it back into place, but then I realized that it was not lighting up. The SMD was not lighting up, and it turns out I broke the wire to the SMD when I broke the cannon off. So I have now pulled the cannon off and re-drilled this and run a new SMD through, so I've got that wired up. Fortunately, I've got just enough wire sticking out here. I was able to fish out just enough. I got the ground wire here somewhere. I may have to go back up in there and pull it out again, but I got just enough of the wire exposed to where I can get this soldered on. Unfortunately, on this side, the SMDs are up inside the hull, so I don't have to worry about putting, not SMDs, but the resistors. And so I don't have to worry about putting new resistors on. I just have to wire this up, and it should be ready to go. I also had lost this light on the port side and this SMD on the side that's lighting up the side there, and found a broken wire, which may have been the culprit keeping me from getting this closed up, because it looked like it had been pinched and ended up getting cut. So once I get this wired back up, I can get the gun back together, or the cannon back together. And once I get that back together, then I'll be ready again to try to get this hole closed up, and hopefully it'll go together this time. I'm trying to get some more of these wires out of the way. I've pulled this front end apart. You can see it's moving a little bit. So I've got to get that glued back into place as well, and it's just been a headache. I had a couple issues too. I took the bird of prey, the big bird of prey, and the TOS 1350 with the navigational helm display base, but I also took my 1400 Enterprise C because I hadn't had that in the contest yet. And when I got to WonderFest, when I was in the hotel room plugging everything in, making sure everything was good to go, I realized I lost one of the marker lights on the front, the red marker lights on the top front of the nacelle. And also saw that the nacelle, the blue LEDs, one of them, it was darker on one end on the front. So didn't enter it in because I didn't want to put in a model that I knew wasn't going to do very well. Brought it home, broke it back open. I did post those pictures on my Facebook if you haven't seen them. And opened it back up and was able to replace that marker light and replace the LED strip in that nacelle. And she's all good to go now and sealed back up. In addition, the 1350 TOS, one of my buzzards stopped spinning. And fortunately, it didn't do that until after judging had been done. But again, got that back home, opened it up, and found one of the wires had broken, the wire that powers the buzzard, the spinning buzzard. And I don't know how that happened. It's been sealed up. There's not really any way any pressure could have been put on it. So why that wire broke, I don't know, but it's put back together. It's good to go now. And she's getting ready to go to her permanent home. Here in about another week and a half, I'll be delivering that. Along with the big bird of prey, I've also had somebody purchase that, and that will be going to its new home the day after the TOS 1350 Enterprise goes. So I hate to let them go, but I need to make a little room if I'm going to keep building. I need more room. I don't have the room for those. So anyway, we're going to get back into this. I am going to get this wired back up, and then we will take a look at getting this closed up. So give me a couple minutes and we'll come back and take a look. All right, guys, I got this closed up finally, and she's all together. I do have some touch-ups I'm going to have to do. I've got a little bit of a glue run here on the front. You can see where that glue ran a little bit, so I'm going to have to sand that a little bit, come back and repaint it. There's a couple little spots too under here where I'm going to have to do some work. But it didn't go together easy at all, and a couple things popped loose. I got a bit of work to do on the seam up front here again, and I did get that cannon rebuilt though. You can see I've replaced all this with brass now because I just got tired of the plastic, or the plastic breaking. So just redid it all in brass, and let's plug this in. Take a look at what we got here. So you can see we've got the, let me turn this light off. You see we've got our cannon in the front there lit up red. I still have to put that piece on the front. I'm waiting until I do all the touch-up though to do that, as well as the cloaking, whatever this is called, part of the cloaking device. But I don't want to glue this in place until I finish doing all the redoing this seam up along here either. So that's going to sit to the side a little bit, but we've got all of our lights are shining. Everything's lit up. I fixed this light that I lost. The only thing I don't like is I had to order some new SMDs, and I ordered warm white because that's what I've been using, and the warm white on the newer SMDs that I got are not as warm as the ones I had before. So they're a little bit different, but I can deal with it. It's not too bad. And let's just spin this around, take a look at our engines. Are lighting up real nice back here. Hopefully that's picking up. I don't know how the frame rate is on the camera, but It looks good in person. I do have some light blocking to do here, and I got quite a bit of light blocking I got to do back here. I got a big gap right here. I'm gonna have to fill or see if I can get that to close up a little bit better. But nothing that can't be fixed. Let's take a look at our firing here. I'm gonna get my 2 ground wires together and let's see what this looks like. And we got both our cannons, and there's our torpedo. Now, I don't have the sound effects card hooked up yet. I won't do that until I get this on the base, which let me grab the base I'm working on real quick. Microphone back on. I'm going to move this out of the way. I don't want to break that gun again, the cannon again. I have to fix that all over. But here's the base I'm working on. This will not be backlit because I was trying to get this done in time for WonderFest. That's one of the things I was kind of going to bypass on this. But now that I didn't get it ready for WonderFest, I thought about trying to redo it. But the problem is I've already epoxied this block in place, so by the time I ripped all this out, it's just not worth it. It's fine as it is. I'm going to add a switch either up front or on the front of the case here, and then I'm thinking I'm going to put that firing button right in the middle here, since I've got a decent amount of support here because of that block of wood. So I think I'm going to put that firing button like right dead center here, and that way it's front and center. But I've already got the hole drilled in to mount it. I just got to insert it and get it all wired up and put the bottom on, and it should be good to go. So I am going to do some work on that and try to tidy up the model a bit, and then we will come back and take one more look at it. So stay tuned.
All right, guys, here we go. She's pretty much done. I do have some additional weathering I'm probably going to do to it, and I'm currently waiting on some replacement decals. I thought I had some, but apparently those were for the Big Bird, and they were way too big for this one. So wait for those to come in, but I kind of want to get this wrapped up. This isn't the final version, but it's pretty damn close. So I'll do some more weathering on the baffles, and I'll probably do a black wash on the wings, and pretty much the entire ship will get a black wash to kind of weather it down some. But she's all assembled, and she's on the display base, and she's all hooked up, and I can turn it on. And the only issue I've got really is that I switched SMD suppliers in the middle of this build. So you'll notice that this SMD here and this one here are really bright compared to my other ones, and they really don't look like a warm white, even though they're supposed to be. These are definitely warm white. These are from the original SMDs I was using. Then I had to order some midway through the build, and these are definitely way whiter than what a warm white should be. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at that and see what's up with that. But anyway, it's all done. She's all painted up. Come down, we can see that the photon torpedo tube is lit up. A little bit of light bleed through the LED that's in there to light up the photons. But we got our firing switch set up here. And you can see it all lights up and fires, and we've got some sound effects. So really pleased with that. Other than that, the only other issue I've got, and it's a major one, is that I lost my red LEDs on both sides. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, they're both out. So I'm not cracking this back open to fix that. So it just is what it is. This thing has been fighting me all the way, and I'm just glad to be done with it so I can move on to some other builds. Turn it around so we can get a look at the back side. I do have a little bit of a light leak too that I've got to fix at this seam back here where the aftermarket baffles went into place. But I'll get some I'll get some black, something to black that out with, probably tulip, and black that out, and it'll be good to go. But you can see here the engines are lit up nice. I like the aftermarket parts to do that, better than the kit part that comes with it. So definitely glad we did that. But like I said, not perfect, and still got a couple little things to do, but for the most part, she's done. Enough to where I can move on to something else. And like I said, I'll finish up as soon as I get those replacement decals, and I'll finish those up and get some more weathering done, and then she will be 100% done. But in terms of this video for assembly, she's good to go. So a little disappointed with the lighting, where I fought to keep this Canon, and I finally get this Canon back up and put together and refinished and working, and then I lose the two underbelly lights, red lights there, and a little disappointed by that. But you know, it happens sometimes, and I'm just not looking to crack this open. In the future, if I want to build one this scale, I'll probably do the Golden Armor. I'll probably print the Golden Armor off and build that kit, because I really enjoyed putting that kit more than I did this one. This one has just been fighting me. And the Golden Armor kit, on the other hand, went together really nicely. So I'll probably do that. I think I'm actually printing a couple pieces at 50%, and that's a little bit larger than 1/350. It looks like it's probably close to a 1/300. Somewhere around there. Once I get them printed up and measured out, I'll be able to get a better idea what the 50% file size gives me. But it's pretty close to probably about the 1/300, so a little bit bigger than the 1/350. But anyway, guys, hope y'all got some use out of this build. It's been kind of long. Like I said, I kind of put on hold for almost a year. Well, actually, I put on hold for just right at a year. So got the other bird of prey done, and she's found a new home. And this one's done, and not sure what I'm going to do with this one. But again, want to thank you guys. Appreciate everybody for watching these, for the feedback. Hopefully I was able to show a couple little tips or techniques or something that you're able to get some use out of. But again, please give me some feedback down below if you want. If you haven't subscribed for these videos and getting use out of them, please hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell icon as well to get the updates as they come out. But again, as always, please visit my comrades at arms, Cass over at Lake Monster Details, and Gus over at GCals, and show them some support. But again, guys, thank you for watching. Till next time, keep modeling.